Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. Cory and Friends, Episode 4, Season 1. Still around, still doing the damn thing. Big show ahead for the Labor Day extravaganza. You know, we got Cory making his season predictions. We also got Bad Boy Bill doing his usual thing, getting your bets in properly to make sure you're doing what you need to be doing in your office, in your neighborhood, and on the web. A lot to go. We're going to be back in 10 seconds, and we'll kick it up.
This is an alert from Central Dispatch. Major disturbance reported.
It's the greatest show of all time.
So bring it back, I'm feeling that. So give me that more and more. Wheel it back, put the needle back. Hear the people clap more encore. So bring it back, I'm feeling that. So give me that more and more. Wheel it back, put the needle back, back. Are you ready to roll?
Welcome back. Cory and Friends in the building. Thanks for tuning in, whether you're hitting us on SoundCloud or YouTube. Greatly appreciate the support you've been giving us. We got a lot going on. It's the last week without football, man. It kicks on here Thursday. New England, Pittsburgh. I know everybody's excited about that. Hopefully your draft party was a lot of fun. Hopefully you had a decent pick. So I'm sure you know that it was roster cuts. The deadline was 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I'm going over the list, and there were a lot of big names, man. We got some funny stuff. We got some serious stuff. The Josh Freeman in Miami thing, I mean, that's like the third time in 2 weeks they've cut him. I don't know what's going on with that. Another veteran quarterback here from the Falcons released, T.J. Yates. Keep an eye on him on the waiver wire. And for all you Bears fans out there, Rex Grossman was finally released. He was last in Atlanta. Boy, Will Blackman, we cut him loose from Seattle. I was kind of surprised by that, to be honest with you. I'm sure he'll end up getting picked up. Let's see, the guy that broke Geno Smith's mouth, Ike Enampala, was released by Buffalo. Why pick him up? Just let him go. Maybe that was just a big joke. I can't put it past Ryan there on pulling a prank like that. Let's see, who else? Christian Ponder, fifth-year quarterback, released. Never really did anything. You know, was supposed to be the man in Minnesota. Really just never got off the ground. Red Bryant, another former Seahawk who was recently in Buffalo, parted ways, defensive tackle there. Look for him to get picked up as well. Matt Flynn, boy, it's just a lot of these names ringing a bell for you if you're a Seahawk fan for sure. Let's see. I think one of the big surprises was Matt Castle as well. Buffalo, a lot of names cut from the roster, leaving E.J. Manuel and then Tyrod Taylor. A lot of people surprised by Tyrod Taylor. Don't forget he was sitting behind Joe Flacco for about 5 years there in Baltimore, learning what to do and what not to do. So he looks fast. I mean, he looks like a little bit bigger of a Russell Wilson. A lot of fun to watch. Hakeem Nicks, boy, what's going to happen with him? I mean, it just shows it's a young man's game. Another great receiver on the waiver wire for you. Darnell Dockett, that was a stunner. I really didn't see that happening. Big, long-time Arizona Cardinal. To be honest with you, I was watching the NFC West very closely over the last couple of weeks, and St. Louis does not look as strong as I was anticipating. I honestly think everybody's lowballing San Francisco. There's no way San Francisco is only going to win, 4 or 5 games. Look for them to get 7 or 8. I mean, they're not going to be zombies out there. Mark my words on that. One of the weird things, though, was the Reggie Wayne thing. I don't understand why would he bother signing with a rival club like that to hang out for a week or two and then just ask for his release. It just doesn't make any sense. I've seen a lot of people speculate, oh, well, he just did it to get in good with them and now he's going to head back on the Colts. I think that's silly. I think what probably happened is the language that they were using was probably a little difficult. I mean, because they were asking him, hey, you've only been here a week. Are you going to be ready to go? And he's like, I got to be. I'm definitely not insinuating the fact that Reggie Wayne can't learn a playbook. I'm not saying that, but it's just an opinion. I definitely don't think it's some conspiracy for him to get into the Patriot organization to see what's going on to come back to the Indianapolis Colts. I think that would be silly. It would be for good news, though. And how the mighty have fallen. Once a top fantasy football pick, Monte Ball is now out of work. Look for him to get picked up. Keep an eye on him on the waiver wires. That might be a good steal here. And then, the big headline, save that for last, is the Tim Tebow thing. I mean, after they shipped Barkley to Arizona for really nothing, I thought for sure they were going to keep Tim Tebow, but obviously that was not the way it went down. I went out of my way to watch him. I mean, it's tough not to root for the kid. Some hot, some cold. a couple fumbles, running that halfback option bullshit. But, I mean, he looks accurate. So if you put a gun to my head and said, do you think somebody's going to pick him up? I think somebody will. I mean, I don't know. I mean, who would you rather have, him or, Johnny Manziel? That's a perfect example of where you've got a guy that's a lightning bolt, but in a completely different polarizing direction. And that was, I think, is the only thing that's going to maybe has hurt him in some degree. It's helped him in his personal life, because whether he plays football again, he's going to be fine. He'll always be able to go speak, or he'll always be able to do things, and he does wonderful things in charity work across the globe, and I really appreciate that. And I don't want people to misunderstand what I'm saying, but football coaches are tyrants, and they don't want anything in the locker room that is bigger than the team or bigger than themselves. And I feel like with guys like Tebow, with guys like Manziel, you see it every once in a while where they're so polarizing. I mean, when have in any other time in history can you think of that backup quarterbacks were getting this kind of news attention, and it became this whole thing to do wherever they went or whatever they did. It was breaking news. But interesting things. I was definitely keeping on. It was a busy day. The Saturday was the deadline, and up till 4 p.m. we were definitely keeping an eye on it. Oh, I almost forgot. Christine Michael, former Seattle Seahawk, joins the Dallas Cowboys. Good luck to Christine. Sorry it didn't work out. And also Seahawks cut Robert Turbin. So I apologize for that bad fantasy advice that I gave you. Just look where he ends up. I mean, don't cut him yet. That would be my advice to you, is just keep an eye on him for a week or two and see where he goes, because he could easily go somewhere and become clear-cut number 2 after that high ankle sprain clears up. There's some other things that we'll get into, but we'll take a break here. Like I said, we still got a lot more to go. We got Cory up next, so stick around for that. You're listening to Court and Friends, Season 1, Episode 4. It's our Labor Day special. We'll be back in 10 seconds.
I've called this meeting to say that downtown is no longer safe. So in short, we need to pick some new restaurants and nightclubs.
Hey, this is Amy from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. You're listening to Court and Friends, the best year for jacket.
Hey guys, it's Cory again with your NFC East update. Preseason's in the books, so just going to kind of go over some major news here and give some predictions for the week. I'll start in Philadelphia. Sam Bradford looked good in preseason. On defense, they did lose Marcus Smith for a while, so that's going to hurt them. High-powered offense. Defense looks good coming out of preseason. They'll take on Atlanta this week. I'm going to go 42 for Philadelphia to 31 Atlanta. I think Atlanta's got a strong case to win the NFC South, but Philadelphia is too high-powered right now on offense. We'll see if Chip Kelly's college days into the NFL will produce something that'll put them on top. But, defenses will figure them out throughout the year as they did last year. I think it dwindles down, but I could be wrong. Sam Bradford went 10 for 10 the other night, looked really strong, and we'll see how that goes for them. New York and Dallas can square off Sunday night. Jason Pierre-Paul in New York stated that he is ready to get back with the team next week, so he'll come into the facility. We'll do some rehab work. Tom Coughlin said he wanted to get him in, see where he was, so they could evaluate him and get him back onto the field as quickly as possible. Dallas, there you've got Orlando Skandrick going down for the year, so that's going to shift Tyler Patman into the slot position. I think New York, though, their offensive line, not looking good for Eli. So on this game, I'm going to go with Dallas 34, New York 17. I think we're going to see a vastly improved Dallas defense. Randy Gregory did have 3 sacks in 3 games in the preseason. He had a 4th, but was called back on a defensive holding penalty. So we'll see how he does there. Very excited about him. The Cowboys are so excited about him, they're thinking about moving Greg Hardy over to the tackle position and allowing him and Randy Gregory to work off the edge. So we'll see how that goes there. Again, Dallas 34, New York 17 Sunday night. Washington's taking on Miami this week. Kirk Cousins beat out RG3 for the starting role there. So we'll see how that pans out for him. I really thought RG3 was going to bring some life back into that team this year, but circumstances have it. Kirk Cousins is going to be on the helm with Washington. I'm going to go 27 for Miami, 13 for Washington. Miami's going to be very strong this year. we'll see how that goes with them and Ryan Tannehill there. So in the NFC, you're going to go with the Minnesota Vikings. Have looked sharp in preseason defensively. Mike Zimmer is a mastermind. So we'll see how they do Monday night against San Francisco, who's on the downside. But watch out for the Minnesota Vikings this year. They're going to be very strong, and we'll see how that goes. So we'll be back with you next week with a short update. But, week one's on the way. Football's back. Everybody get excited. And we'll talk to you next time.
That was Cory with your NFC East update and beyond. Catch Cory week in and week out with us, Court and Friends. Still got a lot of show left. Next up, we got Bad Boy Bill, our in-house gambling specialist. Stay tuned. Back in 10 seconds.
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore!
This will not look good on a resume!
What's poppin', my main man Cord, and anyone listening to this masterpiece out there? Much love. I got a big Labor Day special to bring to your ears today. Have a ton going on with sports betting picks for you this week with NFL Week 1 coming up, college football tonight, and October playoffs beginning to approach in the MLB. I'm staying away from talking about Tebow being cut, Brady and Deflategate, and baseball pitching inning limitations. I'm over all that. I'm excited and going on a limb with the World Series championship prediction already. I've got 3 NFL locks for Week 1 and a big spread upset, as well as a huge parlay bet for the big Buckeye game tonight. And in honor of America and the Labor Day, causing me to feel a little patriotic, I've got 2 political presidential betting picks for you. First off, with Week 1 in the NFL, I've got Miami minus 3.5 at Washington. I think Miami's going to kind of be a sleeper team this year. Unpredictable and crazy as Washington is right now. I don't see any way of them beating Miami even at home. I got San Diego minus 2.5 points versus Detroit. I just don't see any way Detroit's going to be able to beat San Diego at home. You got Phillip Rivers at home. He's pretty much dominant. Struggles a bit on the road, but there's no way Detroit's going to beat them. Got Philly also. I love them minus 3 at Atlanta. I know they're on the road, and Atlanta's pretty good at home, but I don't see any way they're going to be able to keep up with Philly's fast-paced offense and everything they have to offer. A $10 parlay on those 3 spreads pays out just over $26, which isn't too bad. I got a huge upset alert. Like I said last week, everybody's picking Green Bay, but for whatever reason, I just feel Chicago plus 6.5. I'll take 6.5. I think it's actually gone up to 7 right now. But at 6.5, that's the second highest spread this week over the Patriots and Pittsburgh game, and that could be a crapshoot. I like Chicago getting plus 6.5 points, which I think, like I said, it's gone up to 7 now. If you threw that in on the parlay with those 3 locks on a $10 bet, that would pay out $114.75. Got a big game tonight, Ohio State versus Virginia Tech. I like VTech getting 14.5 points. I know it's going to be a big game tonight, and Ohio State's ranked number 1, and they may blow them out of the water, but 14.5 points. Virginia Tech's pretty good. I think it may be a little bit closer than that. I know it's going to be a huge scoring game. The over-under on that's 53 points. I love the over. I think it's going to go well over that, especially if it's going to be a blowout. If you would do a $5 bet, parlay-wise, on the over and Virginia Tech getting the 14.5 points, it pays out just over $12 at $12.85, which isn't too bad. That's a quick little double up for your loot right there. Big MLB World Series championship prediction. I'm just going to go ahead and put it out there, just like I said a few weeks ago after the trade deadline. I'm going to go on a limb and pick the Blue Jays to win the World Series. I don't see anybody or anything, barring any injury for the Blue Jays, any other team being able to dominate their pitching or consistently have dominant enough pitching themselves to withstand the Blue Jays offense. If you can think of any other team out there, let me know. I'll wait. I think the Blue Jays are just completely unstoppable. I don't see it happening. They have had more double-digit scoring games this season than any other Major League Baseball team in history. The $10 bet currently for the Blue Jays to become World Series champs and win it all pays out $50. It's pretty good odds right there. 5 times your money, basically, on whatever you wanted to spend on it. In honor of Labor Day, it had me feeling a little Americana and patriotic. I was randomly looking, and they actually had betting odds to support presidential party nomination and bets you can place. Just looking at the current odds and conditions with polls, unless another dominant candidate comes about in either party, a $5 bet on Trump to win the party is an easy triple up. A $5 bet on Biden pays out a whopping $22.50. Kind of crazy to think you could bet on presidential candidates. Also, I've got a monster DraftKings lineup coming up for week 1 in the NFL as well. Hit me up on Twitter to link up, and let's do a huge fantasy DraftKings weekly league. I'm trying to get that started up. Ask Cord, my picks are on point. No need to even weigh it out. I recently had a friend inspired to join, and he's up to $120 this week off just a $10 investment. Also, hit me up on Twitter as well with some pork chop recipes. It's my dog Pork Chop's B-Day today, and that's going to be man's best friend's dinner tonight. As weird as may sound or may not sound, I've never actually cooked them, so I have no idea. Also, I wanted to give a quick shout-out to Matthew McGuire for first proposing and inventing the idea of having a Labor Day. Not many people know that it actually come about due to a workers' revolt and bombing known as the Haymarket Massacre. A little history for your dome there. I'm one of the fortunate ones to have it off, although I know many are not. Regardless of if you are or not, when you get some time off from stacking those stacks and handling responsibilities, get outside and enjoy the day. Have a drink or two and kick back. Whatever you do, be sure to do 2 things. 1, don't drink and drive. I've been down that road. It's pretty much the most dangerous and ignorant monumental mistake I've ever made on many scales. And 2, instead, kick back and do what you do. Put this on rewind and like us on YouTube, SoundCloud, and look for your boy on Twitter at TheRealBill704 with anything and everything you want to talk about. And Ocho Cinco, I'm calling you out again. Be on the lookout. This podcast will be on your Twitter feed too, pimp. I'm out. Till next week. Later.
Hey, a big thank you to Bad Boy Bill for always bringing it to the table. He does the homework so you don't have to. Our in-house betting specialist. Greatly appreciate it. Happy birthday to Pork Chop. We're winding it down. You're listening to Cord and Friends, Season 1, Episode 4, our Labor Day special. We're going to take one more quick break, and we're going to wrap it up. We greatly appreciate you tuning in. We'll be back in 10 seconds.
Don't you ever fuck with the best corner in the game. Who's talking now? Crabtree. Don't you ever fuck with the best corner in the game. All right?
Auxiliary back with more with it back with more with it be my auxiliary, yes, it's more with it back with more with it back with more with it all my auxiliary.
Welcome back, Cord and Friends. Thank you for tuning in. Whether you're on YouTube or SoundCloud, greatly appreciate it. Tell your friends. You know, I got one more thing I want to talk about. This whole thing started. If you've been following along with the FS Great House on YouTube, you knew me and my brother Bray had a show last year, B&C show, still there for if you want to take a listen to it. And then we took some time off, and I wanted to do a sports show. You know, something just an alternative to kind of the mainstream. A lot of people don't know, but ESPN is owned by Disney. And anytime any of their commentators kind of have an opinion or kind of have a stance that's not, you know, total PC, they end up getting fired or suspended or whatever. This final straw for me was when Colin Cowherd was fired for a joke that, you know, you would have made at a bar or something. And I think there's really an audience of conversations, sports related, but that also affects culture. And at the end of the day, I'm a big advocate for free speech. You should be able to say whatever you want. And if you're ignorant or you're hateful, well, that's just on you. You know, that just shows that you're an asshole. And the point I'm trying to make is Colin Cowherd fired by ESPN, one of my favorite commentators. And then he gets hired by Fox, and I see him, and he's got his hair dyed, and he's looks like he had some plastic work done, and he just looks like a completely different guy. You know, and I'm happy that, you know, Cowherd is still, you know, he's working again and he's got a gig, and that's great, but I don't know, it just shows you that, like, you have to play the game, whether you're on the left side, right side, or even if you just play the middle. You gotta play the game. And, young, old, I know we have kind of a diverse audience, but just do the best you can, because I don't have any advice for you, really. But just enjoy the show, enjoy each other, take care of each other, take care of yourself as well. Be smart, have a good time, within reason. Anything within moderation, within reason. We'll see you next week. This is Cory and Friends, signing out. Season 1, Episode 4. We'll see you next week.